I'm sure you didn't. Hey, y'all. We are back.
Yeah, we back. That's our theme music. We might have a
We
different
got.
one every time. We got a different theme
We got.
every
I
time.
cannot with you.
You
I
know,
can't. I cannot.
it's why it's unscripted. Because tomorrow, or let me not say tomorrow, but next Monday, we might have the Ric Flair theme song.
Ric Flair?
Yeah, woo!
Oh,
But
God. Oh, my goodness.
I'm a back in the day big wrestling fan. Not no wrestling fan of today. It's
I
different.
need you to get your life together, sir. Hey, y'all.
They
Welcome.
always give us a.
Welcome to An Unscripted Beautiful Life. Tonight we are talking about you really are hogging like the
Come on,
whole
come on.
nah,
I
I'm
want you
good. I'm
closer.
right.
I want you
Tonight we
closer.
are talking about when somebody says get over it, right? Are we able to get over it? So we're talking about when our past still has a voice, right? The things that we hold on to from the past, holding on to, the trials, the circumstances, and wondering if us just getting over it is healing, right? Can we heal when we say, oh, just get over it? How many times has somebody told you, oh, just get over it? Or with time you'll get over it. But do you ever really get over it? And so this one is going to be, I know, a personal one for me because it's kind of like when God has unleashed it, like turned the mic on, it was like, okay, it's all coming out. So um I'll
Get your
start there.
popcorn.
Get your
Get your
popcorn.
popcorn.
If I gotta get some tissues, listen, this
Get
might
that
be one of
too.
those, one of those. But um tonight we're talking about when past still has a noise. And so I know I've shared on here on this platform and probably others about the job loss that I went through in 2023. And unfortunately, this thing is still lingering with me in that something may trigger the loss, right? I know that the loss took place so that like a beautiful encounter can be birthed. I know and so for the assignment to take off, but that still does not negate the
The
fact that
feelings.
I suffered some type of loss, right? Even
Hmm.
though it was not a result of anything I did or did not do. But I'm realizing now as I'm kind of like, we're at the end of the year, not necessarily making New Year's resolutions, but just kind of reflecting on how the year
How
has been
2025 was.
and what I could have done differently, how to push through to get to 2026 without bringing in any of the baggage, right? And
Absolutely.
one of the things that really hit me was I allowed the loss to define me, right? There was some type of meaning that I had attached to it, although it wasn't due to my performance and things like that. It was due to reorganization. It still didn't feel that way,
And most people won't feel that way.
right?
You're always gonna, no matter what the situation is, the whole company could have went down. You're still gonna feel like, damn, did I have something to do
Right.
with that?
Right. Um, and so that was the first thing is I realized that I had associated the loss as if I had done something wrong. So okay, trying to work through that. Then there's the piece of um I know that, right, the job had been the security net, the safety net. And so
Right.
now that I don't have that income anymore. How do I
Supplements. What is it?
not even supplement, but it's just that okay, you because I'm sharing from my perspective, right? Oh, the job is not there, so now that means I have full time to dedicate to unbreakable memories. And hello, my name is beautiful, and I'm going. The momentum is there, the consistency and everything is going there, but it's just not growing the way that I expected, right? And so
Hmm.
then there becomes okay, God, what are we doing now, right?
Hmm.
And that's another hit that I have because I'm like, oh, this feels like I'm failing. Like, why can't I get this thing to take off the way that
You wanted
I
to.
wanted to do? Right. So, again, this is me attaching more meaning to it because it didn't grow the way that it wanted to
Right.
grow. That means it's me. Right. I'm sharing my truths tonight. So whether this one stays up or not, I don't know. But I'm sharing my truths as of right now because I ain't
I
going.
ain't allowed to take it down. We gonna
You
go with
can't.
it because it's
So
unscripted.
hey, Matia. Hey, beautiful. And so that was another meaning that I had such. Okay, we got two different events, right? But all stemming from one thing,
one
right? The
one
one
overall
big thing.
outcome.
Yes. So there's one overarching outcome, one thing, one event that happened, but it's a trickle effect,
Mhm.
right? So then I'm like, okay, so again, I am trying to move over, Trina. You have to let this loss go, but not understanding it's not easy to let something go when you've been in it
For
for so long.
yeah,
Like
what
I
you
was
did
in
25,
22 years,
20,
22,
20.
23 years.
That's a long time.
And right. And so I'm, realizing like, okay, I didn't really necessarily have a true grieving period.
No.
Cause it was just like, oh, it happened. Now I gotta make moves. I gotta figure out the plan
Yeah.
for how to supplement and do, still support you at home and the family and the obligations and things like that. And so it's like I never really got the time to sit and process what I was really going through and like really try and make sense of it. Like, yeah, I know the assignment, God is doing all of those things, right?
Right.
But I didn't have that time. And so now as
Now,
I'm
before you go,
go ahead.
did you have the time at all with yourself and God, or no time at all?
I'm
I'm going to say no time at
sh-
all.
no, I'm gonna say I had time, but I don't know if it was enough time,
Okay.
right? Because I did have conversations with God and I knew I there was clarity
Even
as to
before it
why
happened.
it happened. Not even before it happened, but just as to why everything
Okay.
happened. Like the job stood in the way of me walking in purpose.
And that's why I asked you that question as well.
But
Because of
that's right. So I know that. And like I know, yes, that is what it is, but that still doesn't or has not negated the
that big
feeling of
loss.
loss,
Yeah.
right? So there is no just getting over it. Like you can forget, like when you talk about something, you can forget, but you're never going to forget.
It's hard to forget.
It is. And for me, it was when I'm thinking about like getting over it, when somebody say, oh, just get over it, that means, oh, we're supposed to stop thinking about it, right? Like it's kind of like out of sight, out of
Out of mind.
mind. Well, I'm not going to think about it because now I'm doing, let's say in my case, I'm substitute teaching, right? I'm becoming a
Yeah.
teacher. So, oh, I'm not even going to pay attention to that, but not realizing there could be something that triggers.
And that's what I was going to say. It's always going to me, at the end of the day, it's always going to have something that's going to trigger you to go to think backwards.
Yeah. And it's a whole lot of things because it's like you think it's one thing. You're like, man, like I was finding myself and I'm being honest and I'm keeping it real with everyone. I was having conversations like, God, I know this isn't your best for me. Like just where we are, the season I'm in, like this ain't it, God. Like we gotta go. I like, did I hear you wrong? Like, you know what I mean? Like that's the conversations that I'm having with myself and with God because I'm like the inheritance is mine, the provision and the abundance is the kingdom, all of
Yeah.
the things. Like I know that, but it's not, it ain't clicking.
Because it's a totally different walk of what you was walking before.
And I think that's the biggest lesson
Yeah.
that I'm really
It's a
coming to
totally different
realization
walk.
with is now it's like, oh, before the job was the provision, but now God is the
Yeah.
provision.
Yeah.
And it's a trust factor that I have to have now that I didn't necessarily have before because the job was the job.
It was the security of it.
Yep.
It was, and at one point you could say you kind of were into it, or could you say you were really never really into it
And so what?
to accounting?
No, that was my passion at one point.
So now, at one point where you're, and this is like before we get into the seasons and the years and all that, it's a complete 360 that you have done, a complete 360. Because would you say that accountant work is community work?
I mean, it has its own community. It depends on what community you're talking about. If you're talking about profits and organizations and nonprofits and the financials, that's their community, right?
Of
But if we're
course,
talking community as in purpose and assignment, then no, it's not.
totally different walk, right?
Totally different walk. Now
Yeah.
I don't, so there's that aspect,
Hmm.
right? So I understand and I know that it had what happened had to happen, but it's for me the struggle was letting go of and saying, okay, the event happened for me,
And it was
but
nothing
it
against you,
doesn't define who
who
I
you are.
am, what I've been called to do,
Mm.
who I am. You know what I mean? Like it's an event that happened to me. It's not, it's like it's one part of my chapter,
You
but it's
turn the
not the
page.
whole
It's not the
book.
whole
And
book.
I still have the ability to turn the page.
Yeah. Yes, you do. And the other thing that we have to do is because I heard you say, you kept saying my, this is not how I want it. You know what I mean? And then that's like trying to write the next page before you see
Right.
it. And like I always say, God's already written our book, and what we do is try to add chapters in, and that chapter doesn't even fit where it belongs. So yeah, you might be able to add a chapter in, but if we start adding chapters in for ourselves, then we're putting them in the wrong places,
Right.
or it might not have never been there for you in the first place. So this is why a lot of times, and when I heard you say it's not happening on my time, and that's not just you, babe. That's the majority people in the world. Is like, it's the world not moving like I wanted to move. So then they might jump to the next situation to see. And sometimes we just have to stand in that quicksand and try to wiggle your way out of it
Mm-hmm.
without force.
Right.
Because there's no way out of quicksand without force. You gotta wiggle. And so this is one of those things to where I just gotta wiggle, I gotta inch my way through. I'm gonna inch my way through. And then once I get my torso out, now I can start to use my hands for leverage and things like that, because it's we want it now.
Right.
We live in the it's my money and I need it now era, to where instead of letting God show you and pull you slowly, and then you get it, you like, wow, the abundance is crazy. But then you're ready for everything that comes.
So there was during Jay's Faithfully Fit event on Saturday, there was a song that was played by the one of the dancer, and it said the words were, oh, now I can't remember what the words. It's in my journal upstairs. Um yes, please, if you could. Hold y'all, intermission break.
Look, keep
I'm
rolling,
trying
keep
to
rolling. I'll be right
remember.
back.
But it was talking about one of the parts of the lyric says, I know I'm not crazy, I know what I heard. And um I'm not crazy, but I know what I heard. And that stuck with me because it made me realize that God will tell us the assignment or tell us the walk, tells us the step to take. And sometimes because it looks so unfamiliar to us or may look crazy, you're like, God, I can't do that.
Right.
We question
You
it.
question it, or you don't even go through with
Or
it.
you don't go through with it because fear kicks in. And you have to remember that if he said it,
It's for you.
it's for me. So even if it sounds crazy, we got to walk through the door
Yeah,
anyway.
because he wouldn't have never said it if it
Right.
wasn't for you, for one. And then it only sounds crazy to us because it's not our norm.
Right. So here's the other part of the lyric that's it said, I don't have to see it, but I know it's coming. And that hit me because I'm like, okay, I know what I heard you say, God. I thought I could see it, but because I'm surrounded by the heaviness or the darkness of what I've been experiencing the last couple of months, I can't see it. But I have to remember that even when I can't see it, that I still know that it's coming. So like my faith now has to be elevated to a level of like true unmatched faith like I've never had
Mm-hmm.
before.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the midst of the darkness, if I can't see the beautiful, right? Because the big I'm good the big misnomer I think a lot of people have about beautiful life and walking it through is that beautiful is supposed to be always the balloons, the
Mm-hmm.
butterflies, the
Butterfly,
bubbles, like all
all
the
of that.
good feelings.
Yeah.
But I'm learning through this transition that even in this they're still beautiful. And so even in the darkness of it all, they're still beautiful because now I'm given the opportunity to draw closer to God.
Mm-hmm.
We're given opportunity to surrender what we need to surrender, release people that we should have been released, or receive. Because I think sometimes if we always give, when it's our season to receive, can we really be open to receive when it's
Mm,
our time?
a lot of times, no, because we so used to giving, 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 giving. Um, so go back to that real quick, babe. This is the craziest thing when it comes to faith, is that I don't have to see it, but I know it's coming. That's the great thing about the good Lord, is that you know He's gonna provide. You know He's gonna provide for you, but that faith got to be strong. It
Mm-hmm.
has to be strong. You can't second guess whether it's gonna come or not. You got to know that everything that I'm doing is to His plan, and I'm gonna continue marching to this tune
Right.
until He tell me something totally different. Because again, we like to march to our own beat sometimes, and that rhythm that we marching to is, yeah, it's good for us at that time, but is it the same beat that you're supposed to be marching to?
Right.
Because yeah, it sounds good to our ears, it sounds good, but is it the right one that God said, listen, this is the beat that we got to stay with right here? I don't care what your husband doing right now, I don't care what your kids doing, I don't care what your wife doing. This our beat, and we gotta march to this. Once we get the marching to this beat, everybody else gonna fall with you, and we all gonna fall in line.
Are they gonna fall with you or fall away?
It depends on if they
That's
with
what
you.
I'm saying.
So,
So
so are they with you or they against you?
because that's one thing I am learning on this journey is that the people you think are in the trenches with you
Most of the time, not.
are not in the trenches with you. And you have to understand, I had to understand that I got to still keep going anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And no matter how hard and how hard it looks and how hard it feels, I know God is never not with me. Like
Mm-hmm.
He's always with me. And so
Always.
even in the trenches, when I'm like in that quicksand and I don't feel like I can get out, I know that He is there with me. And so that I just have to keep pushing through. But today when I sent you the text about the topic, it was like, okay, how often do we hear somebody say, just get over it?
All the time.
And I
All the
know
time.
it's not easy to do, right? Because I had put down some quick notes. When you're thinking about just get over it, they want you to stop thinking about it. They want you to stop talking about it. They want you to move on. They want you to be in a place of gratitude. They want you to not dwell on it, right? Like again, out of sight, out of mind. But that where I've fallen has left me in grief, right? Because I'm like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
this is depression. It's anger because I'm frustrated and angry. Again, I'm sharing what I'm feeling. If y'all ain't been in this experience, I pray y'all never have to, but I'm just sharing my story so that if it does happen, something happens to you, like, oh, that's what
I
Trina
was
was
gonna say,
talking about.
because somebody may not have the same experience as you, but they could be going through the same exact feelings,
Having
just
the
a
feelings,
totally
right.
different
And that's the thing I think
aspect of it.
the thing we have to work through is stop thinking that our healing is
Hmm.
going to look the same for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because how I need to heal is not going to be the same way you need to.
Right.
In the same way the kids not going to be like, so don't just, but girl, you got to do this, you got to do this. You can't tell me
It ain't gonna work for us.
that I got to do X, Y, and Z until you've been in my shoes and you know everything to my story. right? My process of healing is completely different. For some of us, healing might be, let me go and get to the water, and I'm at the water all day long, and we have a good cry out session, and we done. Right? Me,
Some people
not
may
so
need
much. Right? The
needs a lot
water,
more time.
right? Need a lot more time, and I think that's
A
the
lot
thing we
more
have to understand.
processing.
That's the thing we have to understand is when it comes to loss, there is no timetable for how you heal.
Nope.
Because, like I said,
somebody else will put a timetable on.
Right. Because I'm one of the things I was like, this thing happened to me in 2023. Why is this still bothering me?
And what we going into almost?
We're going into a whole nother
No, I
year.
would say going into that's year 3, right? Because it would have
This
been 26.
June of 26 will be 3 years.
Yeah. So somebody else, right? They might still be in a major funk.
But again, if we're not doing the work to heal, we're just kind of saying, "Oh, I'm just gonna get over it. I'm gonna suppress it. I'm just gonna go through the emotions, right? Like I'm gonna manage my life. I'm going to I'm in survival mode. That's how I felt. I ain't there. No, I'm not there. But when you're in survival mode, you like, let me just go on to the next thing. Well, if you haven't dealt with that pain, that thing that keeps coming up, there is going to be a trigger.
Mm-hmm. It's like opening up a book, right? And leaving that book halfway read. I'm gonna go get another book and start a whole nother book without even finishing this book. Because now it's like you're reading one book, because you can start putting these stories in this book because you never finished this book.
Or like when you think about a movie and how a movie can seem like it's, oh, I've seen it. It's the same, like the Tyler Perry movies. They always go in one kind of way, right? Like I'm just giving him an example. I don't know if it's true, but then all of a sudden there's the plot twist. And that's how we have to look at our lives. Is like, no, we don't automatically know that a situation is going to end one way, because God is like, no, plot twist, here's how it really ends.
Yeah, because we want to put our own ending.
We want to put our own ending on it. And he's like, that's not what I needed for you. And so it's like, when you're going through something, don't just like, okay, with time it's going to heal. Okay, yeah, time is going to lessen the load. But if you're not being intentional about healing, giving it a name, saying and describing how you're feeling, don't just say, I'm good.
Shoot,
like, nah, today I'm pissed, I'm angry. Like, be real and raw with God, because when you can be real and raw, he be like, oh, now we can begin the healing process.
Because you're gonna keep them saying, no, I'm good.
When you become vulnerable in the hands of what God, when you become vulnerable, right? Just now, God is like, now we can work. Now we can work.
At first, you was going against me, and you didn't think that you was going against me. You didn't feel that you was going against me, but you were going against me because you wanted it on your time. You wanted it to do this. You wanted, all those things. So it's very simple when you can just say, because the old saying, right? Get the monkey off your back, right? If you just say, all right, God, I really have to release everything that I'm going through, mentally, physically, emotionally, and just say, you got this.
So
and let them take the wheel.
Yep.
I guarantee you.
One of the things I had done, or was Googling, like what it really means to kind of detach the meaning behind the event that takes place. And so one of the things that it says is unreleased meaning shows up as overworking to prove ourselves. So how many times have we tried to prove ourselves because, like, dang, I was fat, but I know I'm, and so now you gotta you out to prove something, right?
I'm going through that right now.
Under earning because you don't feel safe to want more. So you like, well, that happened to me before, so now I'm not even going to try for the promotion because I don't think I'm qualified because of the XYZ event that happened to me, right?
Not now.
Right.
Not now.
You could be hesitant to step fully into your assignment. This one right here is shrinking or striving because you're doing for self-protection. So you're keeping your guards up. You won't fully use your voice. You won't fully walk in the assignment because you like, I'm not equipped to do this.
Hmm.
Right. That's what unreleased mean. Um, and then reacting, this one the one that got me reacting emotionally to situations that resemble the original womb. So again, that trigger, there's it could be one little thing. Man, if I ain't had this happen, if I didn't go, and it takes you back to that event. And that's when it's like, nope, we gotta understand like the past is the past. Don't get over it. Like really take the time to heal
Hmm.
and give it a name and be honest with yourself. Like, I'm not saying go and tell the whole world, but who is that one person that you can talk to and you can be vulnerable and open with? For some of us, it's therapy. Like, if you need therapy, what are you waiting on? Benefits expire on December 31st. Go ahead and lock it in before the
Before it
31st
happens.
so they can start over new.
Hmm.
Like,
And
realizing that what happened
it don't
to
define you.
us doesn't define us. It's
Mm-mm.
just a piece of our story, a piece of the testimony, so that now that we're going to get on the other side, notice how I said get on the other side because we will.
Hmm.
That getting on the other side, this story, this journey, what we're going through now becomes a testimony for somebody else that's getting ready to cross our path. Right? You now going to have, oh, I remember when I went through that. Here's how I got through it.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
you can give them encouragement. You can give them wisdom. Yeah, your stories might not be exact, but you still have something that you can say to them to give them a little bit of comfort to know, listen, these dark days are not going to last long. And I'm sharing this again from my own journey, my own testimony. Like, I'm not going to get up here because the last couple of my, I can't get on these lives and talk about everything is beautiful because it ain't. Like, I literally feel like I've been dragged in the mud at times,
Well,
but I know it's part of the process.
like I said last week, does does getting on these help out? Even though we may not feel, but is this? I ask this question: is this for us to be up here and be beautiful? I think this is for us to stand up here to be vulnerable and to help those couples that if we don't start this, we don't make
Yes, you're
it.
right. But I also have to be in a space where I am able to share and be
Absolutely,
vulnerable. And
absolutely,
I couldn't do that a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. I couldn't do that. Like,
and
it just wasn't working. I had to go through my process of figuring out and detaching from the pain.
so I'll ask: is today a better day?
Today is definitely a better day.
Okay, cool. So then we just have to figure out how we gonna continue because some days are gonna still be better than other days, and at like Trina said, the way she can handle certain things, someone else may not be able to handle it. Somebody else may need more time,
Yeah.
or they may need less time. Um, I know that when I told Trina last week, I was in a funk too, and it probably I'm not gonna say probably. It's one of the things where you know your wife's in a funk, and it's like I can't. I don't think I could do anything to help. And so, as a man, I'll speak for myself. When we can't fix a problem or don't don't know how, and trying to communicate with your wife, and she don't really have the answers, and then so now we're trying to we trying to figure something out. It can be, I guess, stressful for us as well because we just trying to, and like I said this before. Sometimes all you want is an ear, and you're not looking for a what's the word I said, babe? You're not looking for an answer.
I think that's why it's important to know your spouse and to know, like, to be able to be open enough with one another to say, listen, I don't need that right now. I just need peace and quiet. Or, hey, I just need you to listen so that I can get this off my chest. I'm not looking for you to give me a solution. I'm not looking for the answer. I just need you to listen and just listen. Like, listen, be available to listen without wanting to respond.
And I felt that.
I'm not
No, no,
saying,
no,
no,
not right now.
no.
But I just, as you were saying it out your mouth, I was saying it in my head because you said this to me so times. And one time it really hit you. Was like, babe, can you just let me finish? And I was
Because I think,
like, ooh.
and it's not
But it didn't
even
take it personal. I
right.
took it as because I said it to myself sometimes. Bro, just shut up and listen.
But I'll say this: it doesn't always just have to be between couples. It could be between friends. It could be family members. Like, you just like, I just need somebody to listen and hear me out, but I don't need you to give me a response back.
Okay,
Because
so
I'm saying this like from my, I'm sharing my perspective. If I'm coming to you and I want you to listen to me, but you're quick to try and interject. You're quick to try and, well, did you try this? Did you try that? Yeah, and then it doesn't do anything but make me more frustrated, because then it makes me feel like you're not really hearing what I'm saying.
you're just hearing the response.
You just hearing the response. And it's because, I mean, think about it. How
That's
many
been
times
me.
have we had a conversation with someone and you're, as they're telling you the situation, you're already thinking, this is what I'm getting ready to say.
That could, because you were only listening to be able to
Right.
respond
And then
and
all of
not
a
to
sudden,
listen to what the person was actually
right.
saying.
But then all of a sudden, as they continue talking, they say something that negates what you was getting ready to try and say. But because you couldn't hear it, I mean, how many times did you just hear what I said to you? You know what I mean? Like, how many times have we said that to each other? Like, did you just really? Because if when you get that, you was like, dang, I was listening to respond, not
I
listening to
wasn't. Nope.
understand. And
Nope.
so that's the biggest thing, is like, okay, find somebody that, if all you need is just for them to hold space for you, just say that. Like, listen, I just need you to hold space for me right now.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, in a case like that, do you have? Should you? I shouldn't say do. Should you or do you go to this person and say, listen, at this time, I just want to be able to speak. I got to speak what's on my chest. I'm not looking for anyone to respond. I just want to get off my chest what I got going, and then you let it go. If what a person still wants to respond,
So
like
I
because that's
think
me so much, babe.
there is there's a fine line that we have to walk,
Okay.
right? Because although they say, I want you to just listen, you also don't want them going into a spiral of depression, or a spiral of the negativity, right? Like, there's only but so much of a pity party that you can allow somebody to have before you, like, listen, I know you told me, like, prefaces, I know you told me you didn't want me to respond, but I see that this is called, the way you're talking, the way you're saying it, this is causing me to think there's more that I need to be concerned about. Like, how can I support you?
Right.
Like, that should be the question. How can I support you
Got you.
versus, well, did you try this? Did you try that? Right? Because
Yeah.
if you say, well, how can I support you? Then their response, well, I just needed to get it off my chest.
Yeah.
Because how
Yeah.
many times have we found the answers just by talking it out with somebody? Like, dang, thank you. I gave myself, thank you for helping me. And you ain't really say nothing, but you were just there to
You just
listen.
didn't listen,
Yeah.
and that's why I said, should you, if you are really honestly going to someone that that's on your team, that's on your side, that's not going to give you the wishy washy. They're gonna give it to you 100. You go to them like, listen, today I don't need anything. I just want to be able to let out what I got on my chest, and then boom, they let it all out.
Yeah.
And now you're like, thank you so much. I truly appreciated that. Um, and then you just go about your business, right? But you also have to be able to have that person,
That's the key, is finding the person that you can be vulnerable with.
because like you say, if you come to me and I'm working on it, man, I'm really working on just being able to listen, because it's always listen to respond. And the reason why I say this is because of how I grew up with sports. If a coach say, "There's you listening to me," and you can't repeat back what he said, we got a problem. So half the time you're not really listening to your coach. You're listening so that way you don't get in trouble,
Right.
and not listening to really understand. So we gotta, us sports players have to just change our mindset now to where it's now
Hey, Frida.
I don't have to listen to respond. I just have to listen and hear her out. And you better be listening, because if she say asks you a question, you should be able to still respond. Because again, you might come to me and say, "I don't need a response at this moment," but then a week later, you can come back and say, "Hey, you remember what we were talking about? I need that response now." And then because like you say, at the end of the day, I wasn't listening to respond. I was listening. So the fact that I was listening, I took in more.
You take in more. When you're not looking for, oh, this is what I'm going to say next.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to
You go.
say.
What you saying that
You're
you're missing
you're
stuff?
more in. It's like the saying, listen to be heard, or whatever the saying is, right? That when you're having a conversation, the biggest key is the person communicating wants to know, did you hear what I said?
Man.
Like all you need is, I just need to be heard. And that's the biggest thing. Is like, okay, how for your part of your healing, sometimes that's all is
That's it.
needed.
That's to be heard.
Like, how many times have you felt better after you've been able to talk it out and get it out your chest? Even if sometimes you just doing, write it in your journal, right? Everything you're feeling, everything you're saying, like what you need to say. Sometimes just even putting it on paper
Yeah.
is the healing process, because when you can see it in black and white, you be like, man, that's how I'm feeling. And then what happens, especially when you're journaling it,
Mm-hmm.
like if you come back to it 3 months from now and you see the testimony of what God did,
You'll be,
because you was like, dang, on June 2023, this is how I was feeling about being let go from my job. But now, as of December 29th, 2025, this is what I feel. And hey, beautifuls. And it's just like, God, thank you.
wow. Mm-hmm.
So, like, whatever needs to take place for your healing process, don't just take the attitude of just get over it. Like, what I had to do, separate the event of the loss of the job and let that be what it was. It
That's all it
didn't,
was.
it
Didn't
didn't,
define
it
you.
didn't define me. Like, but it did, because that's what I took on, right?
Right.
But now I'm telling you all from my experience, don't allow the loss to dictate how you flow in your life. Like, have your moment, hash it out, talk about what you need to do, talk about why it hurts. Like, why did it hurt
Yeah.
that I was let go? Like, talk
Yeah.
about all of those different things, but don't rush the process on what your healing looks like, because if you rush the process like I did, then it's going to be something, and you're going to have a trigger after trigger after trigger, and you're sitting back 2 years later like, why am I
Right.
still talking about this?
Or still having these weird feelings about the job loss,
Right.
or not even just the job loss, any loss that you might have taken. Even if you didn't get, like, you went in, you just felt like you did the best interview possible, and you still didn't get it. It's timing.
Yeah.
It's timing. So go back to it, and tell Trina, I'm always gonna say thank God, for
Hey, beautiful.
her, I'm not gonna say a loss, her gain, because it was their loss but her gain, because they lost a great worker, and that just allowed her to level up, as I take from Miss J, to level herself up to God's standards, because she was just we was just living.
I was just coasting.
Yeah, I was gonna say that we
It
was
was just,
cruising.
yeah, and it's like now there's a true appreciation for the path. Like before, it was like, okay, God, I'm in accounting, I'm doing the numbers. It wasn't like I was grateful, but now this journey is different because it's like, man, I'm fully sold out doing what God need me to do.
Yeah,
Right, Levon? Any loss is grief, right?
yeah,
Yeah, I know, Patricia, there's something better. It's just that when you are, in that moment of darkness, you can't see it, but you know it. But that's why I was saying Jay's event on Saturday was like really what I needed to be like, okay, you might be in some darkness right now, but you still have faith. You still have to have the level up. Like like Jay was saying, this year's event was elevated. My faith got elevated too. And like understanding that. So like I wanted this topic to be my way of releasing and detaching from the loss that happened to 2013, because I am not going into this new year with the same mindset of trying to blame myself for what took place, because it wasn't my fault. And so I
mm-mm,
never should have put the blame on me, right? It was still a loss. There's still something I had to grieve. But because I didn't go through that process, because I didn't think it was necessary.
right. He just was like, all right,
Because
I
she was
get
just
through
like,
this.
okay, right.
Yeah,
Like we'll be through it.
we'll be
Right.
all
Like
right.
we'll get
Yeah,
through it. We always get through it. But it was different this time, because it was literally God saying, no, it's time to peel back all the layers. Like I'm the journal I'm in. What's this say on the cover? Um, held in the unraveling. Like that's where I'm at right now. Was like God is unraveling all the pieces in order for me to now what my word for 2026 is embody all the pieces of me based on who he has called me to be. So I had to unravel, right? I'm saying now I can see the light. I can see why it was necessary, so that now going into this new season that I can embody everything that he has called me to be, and it's no longer tied to that job loss that took place.
gone,
It's gone.
gone.
It's gone. It still happened, but now I get it. I have a different perspective that I now get to see and understand. I see the lessons. I see why it had to happen. Like, what's the song? It was a song that came on. Um, oh, y'all will know the song when it talks about the potter's clay and like being formed, and you even talked about the
Oh,
diamond being formed,
yeah,
like
by pressure.
understanding like to be molded to God, just like literally had to break me down now
To
to be able
rebuild.
to build me and rebuild me back up the
I
way that
thought you
he
was something
needs me.
about reach out and touch somebody's
No,
hand.
sir,
I
that's
thought that was
that's no, that's not what I was going to.
that he was going, man. And for somebody that
I'm not.
she said
I'm
that
not messing with you.
but in my head.
I am not. How did you even get to that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh
It
my
was.
God.
It
I
was
cannot with you right now. So
I don't
I
know.
had a question I wrote down that I was supposed to ask everybody, but now I don't see it because you just
Right
I
there.
cannot with
What did
you.
you decide about? Is that it? No.
No,
No.
that wasn't
Okay, that
it.
was the only
It was
question I saw.
something that popped up in my mind.
Oh.
So I'm just to kind of recap, y'all have to catch us on the beginning, but just think about now from now on when you go through it, when there's some type of loss, when there's a tragedy, a change in circumstances, something that you just have absolutely no control over. Don't just say, I'm gonna get over it. Really take the time. Jay said she Really take the time to process
Yeah.
the loss,
And that's any loss, y'all.
any loss.
It could be something simple as your goldfish, man. It's a part of the family.
It's right.
It's a part of the family,
But
y'all.
process the loss and figure out, okay, what healing needs to happen in order for me to not associate any kind of meaning with that loss. Like that loss does not get to define you.
No.
That loss says nothing about you. That loss is an event that took place. It does not negate
Nope.
who God has called you to be. And so, again, that was my journey. I had to detach from that. And I'm realizing that now that that was what I had to do. So I wanted to share again what I've had to go through the last couple months when like literally being unraveled, and God is now building me back up. So
And it's I know that it was intentional because you said you're not taking this into 25, but this is the last
26,
26. I'm sorry, this is the last Monday
yeah.
before we go into a whole nother year, y'all. And if anybody out here, if 2025 went by too fast, start picking up some things so it could slow. Your 2026 will slow down for you because I know 2025. I don't know where it went.
I wouldn't say pick up some things, but I would say be intentional about being present.
That's a better
Because
wording.
if we have
That's better wording.
rushed through the process of everything, if we're rushing through it, we're not going to learn the lesson that we need to. So be intentional on being present in just the present day. Like, don't think about, well, tomorrow I got to do this. No, 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 no. Right
Be
now,
present
what
today.
is it that I need to do? What is it that God, like every morning when I get up, God, what opportunity do I have to share beautiful? So figure out your thing. Thank you, beautiful. Couldn't do it without you for real. I'm trying to tell you. But y'all, this is our last show for this year. So we want to wish you a happy new year. We will be back on in 2026. We thank y'all for riding this thing out with us. Any
What day? What day is New Year's? Thursday.
mm-hmm. No, Wednesday night.
Wednesday night
Wednesday
going into
night going
Thursday.
into
Okay.
Thursday. So
Yeah, y'all. Don't.
watch your face so you don't kick the power cord.
Yeah.
So we thank y'all for riding with us on the Unscripted Beautiful Life. Happy New Year, and we will see you in 2026.
2026. Here we